Welcome everyone to Love and Beloved Platform, and thank you guys for continue following and supporting it. And if it's brought value to your life, please share and rate and subscribe because that's what help others to discover this podcast. And I hope it encourages and fills you with hope as well. So honestly, first of all, guys, I need to apologize because I had this amazing commitment this new year that I will be consistent with my podcast because before it was more as a hobby and I loved it and I did it in a spare time when I had no work and work is still busy and family and everything. But this year I want to go pro. So I want to be consistent. And one thing happened that I promise you it's gonna be 5 week special series for for months of January. But last week I got so frustrated in trying to put that audit worksheet. And trust me, guys, like if you cannot print it or anything like that, just email me and I will give you PDF. But what happened is I actually walk away. I went to pick up my kids. I got busy. And then I didn't come back to the office to do podcasting. Everything took over. So talking to Sarah yesterday, I'm saying to her, should we skip the week or should we post the next episode right after? And she called me out because that's what the good friends for. She said, we committed to do 5 weeks in January and it has to be done in January. So I'm really grateful, Sarah, for your advice. And if that's what happening, you're gonna get these episodes back to back, but all the information is there, just wrong numbers of the days. But I'm grateful for your understanding and your patience. And I bet in the next January, this is not gonna be happening because I'm committed to create this habit and release the podcast, YouTube, and all the information the same day as I'm recording because I'm booking enough time off to do everything together. So, this out of the way, thank you so much for your patience and for your grace. And today, joining me for the month of January is Sara Burton. And Sara is movement specialist and has been in my life for over 10 years. So for the past year, she been my fitness coach and she was guiding me through most challenging health season of my life. So her expertise and support have been truly transformative for me. So that's why I'm bringing this expert to you guys as well. So welcome, Sara, to Love and Beloved Platform.
Thank you. As always, it's such a pleasure to have a chance to chat.
Awesome. And guys, I partner up with Sara so we can kick off the year by creating the blueprint that will help you thrive in 2025. So grab your notebook, find a quiet space, and get ready to take notes because this is your moment to focus and soak in valuable insights that will set you up for success in this year. And I truly believe in women supporting women, and together we will turn challenges into opportunities for lasting transformation. So, recently we actually recorded episodes. Today is the day, Mind Over Matter, and Stronger Every Day, that dives deeper into Sarah's story and our journey together. And we are addressing all these topics. So you can listen that on iTunes, Spotify, or any preferred podcast platform. Or if you like me, I like to watch videos. So you can watch them on YouTube as well. So for those who just tuning in, Sara, could you please share a bit about yourself and where your journey begins?
Well, my name is Sarah. I have so much life history behind me, is what I feel. I have a family, husband, and three daughters, and a son-in-law now, which is really exciting. And and they're actually getting their new house. They bought a house. They get it today.
Wow.
Really exciting. Good for
They're
them.
awesome kids, by the
They,
way.
they are awesome kids. And so as you can imagine, when you have awesome kids, you're so proud of that, but also you got to recognize that every moment was not also awesome. It
Was
was not. And there's certainly things that we learned and we journeyed through, and having a commitment on my end because of my work and working in the fitness industry, it certainly helped create an example that gave them an example to follow for their own physical well-being. And they also entered into sports and athletics, and even actually 3 out of 4 of those that I mentioned played in the US in their sports. And that created levels of discipline and learning and things that have helped them set up for their future. And again, nothing is ever without its obstacles. But when we are all encouraging one another and as a parent helping each other, parent to parent and then parent to kid, it's not smooth, but it is the hard work. And sometimes you see the payoff happen. Sometimes you don't. That's the way life is.
That's awesome. So today, guys, is the Blueprint series called Heart Center Healing, Nurturing Emotional Wellness, and challenging seasons. So our focus today is addressing emotional balance, self-awareness, and healthy ways to process feelings. And connection to wellness, it's emotional health and emotional drain. This is very important. It impacts relationships, decision making, and personal peace. Um, Sarah, I'd love to hear your perspective on this. Could you share your thoughts?
Absolutely. I think a lot of times we get messages that are always happy. They're always curated. They're marketing messages. Everybody's happy, happy, happy all the time. When it's sad, we don't talk about it. And I think that that really sets us up for a lot of disillusionment, if I could say the word, disillusionment, when we have a hard time and our emotions are maybe not so good, that we think there's something wrong with us. And so that's a really important key point to begin with, is that your emotions exist for a reason, and they will not be steady. If they are steady, you might be a robot. So we have to acknowledge that, yeah, there's going to be up times and down times, and often just mediocre times. That's the way life is. But when we're getting an incorrect message all the time, it's not particularly helpful, because we're not looking at the whole and the truth of how life actually is. So that's where I would start.
That's awesome. And while you're talking about how we're getting all those messages, I'm thinking about myself. And guys, like if you're listening to my podcast, I using myself as the example a lot so you can see or hear and thinking like, wow, this is what happened to me. Like, so it's very similar. So I just want to make sure that it's out of the way because I don't want to use the clients or anyone else for the example, just me, because oh my goodness, I can find example on any topic. So that's what the problem. I was thinking that I actually realized that I have this negative emotion, trauma, PTSD stuff. Probably I was around 40. So I was watching the commercials, seeing the people around myself, like comparing myself to people, like even in the church. But what they say, put your best foot forward or best face forward or stuff like that. And nobody really asked me, are you depressed? Who would ask like this kind of questions? Hi, I'm Lena. I'm depressed. You not go and saying that. But the fact is that even like after my past, I have tons of trauma, PTSD. but I never been diagnosed with postpartum as well. So after twice being pregnant, my hormones were so messed up out of whack, and the doctor didn't diagnose me. There's another trauma too, because he said, well, you have three kids, what do you want? So that kind of things. And I was newcomer, so I wasn't really advocating for myself. And I wasn't part of like any women groups who would say, oh, I know what is it. Probably it's postpartum and stuff like that. But because now, and hopefully, guys, you can hear this message, because now more through the podcast and different shows, we're actually talking about women's health. We're talking about the menopause, how it's messing up like your hormones, and you can get all the variety emotions up and down. So it's nothing wrong with you. It's just that part of life. And then we can get life transitions that can hit us like a truck, and we're all over the place. So it's everything in normal. So ladies, today we address all these common challenges and pain points you might be facing. If any of this resonates with you, trust me, that's okay. We're here to equip you with the practical strategies and tools to help to overcome them. So, the most asking questions actually, why do small seed bags feel so big, and why it's so hard to bounce back after challenges? So, Sarah, I'd like to hear your perspective.
When you have a setback, your routine is interrupted. And so if you are somebody that does really well with routine, it depends. If you respond with routine, sometimes that can be helpful. If you give up, then your routine is off, and then your small setback becomes bigger. And one of the things that I know really helped me in my life was to be required to work out. Why? Because people were relying on me to be the example to them. That was a really good thing for me to do. That's not for everybody, but that was for me. And what that did was it forced me into a routine that then was a little bit more steady. And some of you may have a habit of going to the gym, and some of you may not, or going outside or doing some physical activity. And there is very interconnected with our emotions because of the word called dopamine, that happiness hormone. And when we physically move, we do get a shot of dopamine. If we are with someone and we have a friendship, that also gives us a little bit of a lift. And one of the phrases that I've coined is daily lift. And I think that if we can understand that our life is going to go up and down, but if every day we are getting a daily lift, that can be really helpful to smooth things out a little bit for us. And your daily lift is going to be different than my daily lift, but also you shouldn't just rely on one type of thing. There should be a big toolbox of things that you could go to help yourself continually be able to move forward. And moving forward might also mean pause, have a nap, go to bed early, whatever the case is. But there has to be a well-rounded grouping of things that you're going to be committed to trying. And the difficulty with depression is that it's like you get in this rut and you can't get out of it. So you might need medication to get you out of that rut. Definitely something that you have to go and talk to the experts about. And at the same time, if you're not exactly medically diagnosed, there are some other things that just as a daily human can be really helpful for each one of us. And I have a bunch of tools, and I'm sure Lena has a bunch of tools, but most important is yours. What helps you, and knowing that.
Absolutely. This is really good advice. And guys, we talked a little bit about this as well in our previous episode. Stronger Every Day. So check out that one to get more information on what Sarah is saying about different tools as well, and about the moving, because that was about the physical health. So right now we're talking about the emotional health, and um, yes, like continue about the tools. Like honestly, I would advise you try different things. I think the worst part that and worst lie you can believe in and worst part can happen to you when you say, I already try everything, I do so many different things and it doesn't work for me. Trust me, like if you close your mindset and you're not gonna be open to learning and try new things, it's never gonna happen, because it's literally we are so different and unique. We cannot just follow this manual for a human being and everybody gonna get the same solution, same stuff that will work for you. You have to figure out and you don't give up. Like honestly, sometimes like little idea, little mindset shift, little bit something new coming and you hear that voice, you know what? I try everything, nothing worked, but maybe this one will. And just try that thing. And trust me, like, just stay a little bit with the course. If you drink like one glass of water extra and think it doesn't work, it's not gonna help you. Stick with it, for a month. Whatever you do, just stick for a month and then say, oh, okay, I don't think that it fits into my schedule, doesn't work, doesn't make me happy. You already like you have enough wisdom to make those decisions on your own if it works or not working, but give it a time. And remember, we actually talked about this in previous episodes as well. Start small. Don't think, oh, it's my lifestyle. Oh, I have to do this for the rest of my days. Oh, like it's new, different, it's overwhelming. Start small. Can you do a week? Start with the week. If you type A personality, months, I'm going through January or February. If you would like to do 3 days because you're a busy mom with a busy work, busy schedule, 3 days. You know what? If you like me, today is the day. Today I'm gonna be doing, and next day I'm saying, okay, today is the day, and I'm doing the same thing. So just set those goals. And talking about the emotional wellness and all this misconception. So I found the myth that can be easy, limited belief as well. But here is the myth is that feeling negative emotions like sadness, anger, or anxiety means you're weak or broken. How many of you ladies think that? In reality, experiencing negative emotion is natural part of being human and can be important signal that something in your life needs attention and change. And literally, it just creates awareness. So emotional health is not about avoiding negative feelings, but about understanding, managing, and learning from them. So Sarah, I love to hear your opinion on this.
There was a lot of messaging, and there is a lot of messaging about having a positive mindset. And I think it goes so far when there are situations that are just sad, that are situations that just make you angry. You cannot rightfully and healthily apply a positive mindset to a situation that isn't fair, that actually is traumatic. And I think we do ourselves this disservice, and it feels very, very hurtful if I'm the one that experiences it and somebody tells me to have a positive attitude about it. Wow, that is just adding insult to injury. And what we have to do is definitely put a pause and allow those feelings to come out. And that could mean crying. I think that could mean, just being quiet. Maybe it's, you know, whatever the case is, but we have to feel the feelings. And we don't like that. We'll take medicine to not feel the feelings. We'll self-medicate with maybe some things that aren't positive anyway. And that just avoids those feelings, and they'll eventually come back up. They just will. And whether it's anger that they come out as, or sadness, a lot of people are angry. Well, the anger comes often from being hurt and from that pain. So if I'm angry and, yelling at all my kids, if I stop and take a moment and really self-reflect, and this is another great thing that Lena always encourages you to do, is to get your notebook out. And if you write that out, sometimes things come out on the page
That's
that you
funny.
didn't.
That's what I'm gonna be talking about.
Exactly.
But no,
Because
go ahead.
that's the
Yeah.
thing, that those pieces allow what's inside to come out. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "Blessed are those that mourn." Now, what does that mean? What's the difference between grief and mourning? Well, grief is the feeling, like the sadness, but the mourning is getting it out. And so what does that mean for you? This is really some of the stuff that can be a daily lift. If I am writing, that could be my daily lift. The idea may not be happy or positive, but it certainly can be helpful to release some of those feelings. I think even in my experience, there really have been sad times, and you're putting someone in the ground that you love, and you're so grieved. But there's a reason that you're grieved, because you loved that person. And those sorting out of those feelings are really important. And love can and should be celebrated. And then understanding that the negative or the sadness or even the anger about something that's not fair with that is normal. It's not normal for me to take my anger out on somebody that doesn't deserve it. So I've got to be careful that my anger is aimed at the right thing, that it's not aimed at this bystanders. And so sometimes when we're emotional, we can't tell the difference. So if it's yourself, maybe you're not an introspective type of person. That's why friendships become critical. And sometimes we don't have enough friends, and that's life. So go make another friend. Like, that's just, like, literally there are many people that need a friend. So maybe you have to be a friend to get a friend, but those are important things. And this is why you go to church. You need to be in the community. And if you show up, and if Jesus is there, he's going to minister to you. That's how it is. And sometimes people will shy away and they're like, I'm not ready for that. But honestly, it's where we need to be to help ourselves continue through life.
That's awesome. That's really great tools and strategies, guys. And definitely what I was thinking about, find the support group, because you're not alone. From whatever like you're going through, believe me, what is that? 6 billion people on this planet, somebody will understand. And sometimes we believe those lies, or sometimes all that shame, guilt, condemnation, grief, like sorrow, just like blocking this, and make us think that this is only you going through this. But support groups are amazing. The church, moms groups, search who can help you actually to support you. Sometimes it's gonna be an expert. Sometimes like you're gonna need therapy. Just pour this all out. And talking about awareness, I'm really advocating for writing it down, because sometimes it's very hard to say that to someone, and not all of us just want to give all this personal feeling and pain to someone. So it's definitely, if you have someone like that in your life that you can trust, by all means do it. But I encourage you to write, because sometimes it's easier. And actually, you can ask for help by giving this journal to someone else as well, if you feel that's gonna be a right thing to do. But from the coaching point of view, I actually, when I'm looking into this situation, I was looking into the reframing this kind of setbacks, because whatever is going on that create really like strong emotion and um put in danger your mental health or emotional health, I would recommend to do gratitude journal. And Sarah talked about little bit about positivity. I think like what sometimes we have this misconception, excuse me, and when it's advertised, it's this like fake positivity, like come up with the ideas to say something that is not true to believe, try to um not confuse your mind, but kind of like convince your mind in something different. So honestly, it's, I do believe sometimes like it's almost like avoiding this stuff, but in another kind of way. So um I do believe the gratitude journal, and it will help you actually um to reframe the problems too, because sometimes we can look and everything like so dark. Like for example, even like talking about grief, when my father passed away, and he got back into my life only for last 6 months of our life, and we have amazing friendship. We rebuilt like everything um, in in our lives, because if you guys gonna know my story, and with my father, I had um, resented and harbored the anger against him for all of my life, because I know that he failed me as a father, as a parent. But then when I got healing, I give my life to Christ, and I been called by God, forgive my parents, and he um God like orchestrate this amazing opportunity for me to reconcile with my father. And for he already been diagnosed with cancer, and he passed away. They give him 6 months to live, and that's exactly what was happening. And it was amazing. And when my um father passed away, my husband said, "Aren't you upset that this has happened? You just got him back, and he's gone." And you know what? In that moment, that I did grieve as well, because nobody wants their loved one to be gone. But I was so grateful that I have opportunity to spend those 6 months with him, because guess what? For probably 20 years we didn't talk, like we didn't have communication. So I was grateful. And the another amazing part, that he was seeking Christ, and I was like able to be supporting him, and go through this journey with him, which like make like it's even more precious. So that's what I'm saying. The gratitude, just look at the positive, I'm grateful that this person been in my life, and then it's actually, but this is all definitely after that awareness and grief and sitting with your emotion after, like Sarah recommended. This is number one. You cannot past your trauma and get healing if you're not gonna deal with that. Guys, trust me, it's gonna come out 10, 20, 40, 50 years. Some people like not ever healing their trauma, because they trying to substitute nothing. I will tell you right now, as the mindset shift activities and reframing your fears and your mindset will help you. If you don't do this first part, feel your emotion. Somebody on my podcast said you have to feel to heal. So address that and have that awareness. And this is next steps what would help you to move forward. So gratitude journal, and just shift your focus. Write everything that you're grateful about this situation. Trust me, when you start concentrating, you will find a peace. So the second one, the strategy about these reframe setbacks, ask yourself, it's what is this challenge teaches me, instead of focusing like on the problem of failure. And now I'm not talking about loved one passed away, like we're just talking about the relationships, the motherhood, career, like whatever is going on in your life. And there's the definitely a fear based. So address that as well. And the next one, I would say, think about the time that you failed or something really bad happened to you, but you actually learned and grew from this experience. And you can write out the key or strength that come out from that moment. And you can take any experience in your life. And if you gonna concentrate on what key lesson and strength come out from that, you will find it. What do you think about that, Sarah?
You know, the word that comes to my mind is bittersweet. Life is often very bitter and sweet at the same time. And if we only think life is bitter, we don't see the sweet, and it doesn't kind of come forward. Or if we only see the sweet and we don't see the bitter, it's like we're just like not living in reality. And so having that awareness to recognize both and it's not just about pushing forward with a positive attitude. It's, as you say, being grateful for even little pieces of it. And when we step into the moments and we pause and we understand that there are sweet moments even in the bitter. And I have many examples in my life, and even if it's like a career situation, I mean, we could say, oh yeah, that's all bad, but it's not. And it's not all good either. And so we have to be living in a reality. And I think having people around us to remind us of those things, or to be the mirror to see, okay, actually, you are looking at it like it was your failure, but actually it wasn't 100% your failure. It was 50% your failure, or whatever the case is. Well, there's some positives within that. And so if we get stuck, we've got to rely on our other people, our other resources, other, even, read scripture, listen to music, go for nature walks. There's so many things that we could do where we take a breath and we let our mind be ministered to in whatever way works for us, that we can see that, no, I do have things to be grateful for. I am not, I'm still here. I'm not fully consumed. I'm still here. And if I'm still here, there's something for me to do. I don't know what that is, but if I just pick up my foot, I take one more step. That's it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for saying that, because I think like sometimes like our mind create this catastrophic picture that that's it, my life is done. If this has happened, no way forward. And so much fear, anxiety, no clarity, our mental, emotional, and then physical health goes. And you just believe that, say, see, it's true. I'm done. But until you have breath in your lungs and you still here,
You're not
it's
done.
definitely you're not done. And God has plan for you and purpose and passion. And if one door closes, the window opens. I actually heard that somewhere. I'm so taking it. I don't know. It's been amazing, because I think like when the other door is opening, it's just like something to walk through. But when the window is opening, it's sky's the limit. So I really like that, because sometimes we don't even understand that that door that closed can hold us down for so long, and it's have to happen something internal or external, some kind of like emergency that close that door and force us into something new and different. And then new path open up. And sometimes, like honestly, guys, if right now you're in the darkness and you don't see no path, no clarity, no light, just start with step one. Just grieve and be in that or mourn, you definitely have to go through that process. You have to feel to heal, and then next steps, not why this is happening, but what can I do about it? And be gracious to you, to your emotional health, to your mental health. Everything's gonna be okay. Just have that support, have the people to back you up and take day by day until you again find that steady footing and see the path and clarity. And if you guys have like no one to actually share your stories or get help, honestly, Sarah is here. I'm here. There's all our information gonna be in show notes, so please reach out. I'm actually really proud of ourselves. We're actually doing so good by timing. Yay! Because last episode, I was like, man, we don't fit in the time. But anyway, guys, let us know if this exercise was helpful. We always love reading your feedback, comments, and success stories. Is an is no, it's our honor and privilege to serve you, celebrate your achievements, and witness your breakthrough. Um, your success. I cannot do English today.
That's okay.
It's like I'm like, wow, that was really funny sound. And I know you guys seen me like on YouTube, like doing these funny faces. I don't know. Somehow, anyway, it doesn't go. So your successes not only inspires us as the coaches, but also encourages other people on their journey. So please share. And definitely, if you put the comments and you want me to use that in the podcast to encourage someone, or you write it's private, whatever you like to do, because sometimes we want to share our story publicly. So let me know. Or yeah, just connect with me and we'll figure out. So stay tuned for another episode of Wellness Blueprint. And episode number 3 gonna be heart center healing, nurturing emotional wellness in challenging seasons. So we're gonna kind of continue the same topic that we um, started today. And if you guys actually see this series, they're all connected because we're talking about wellness in general, emotional health, physical health, and all the different aspects of our well-being and all together. And by the way, Sarah, do you have any final thoughts?
I just think to encourage everybody, just keep one step at a time in your focus. And you might not know what to do next week, but you probably know what to do today. So just do that. And, as we continue on, we always have this option. Is that going to be a good thing for me or a bad thing for me? Well, when you know, follow the way that you should go.
Awesome. So, guys, like Sarah and I will debunk some myths about wellness, answer your questions, and share practical tools and strategies, and that are simple and achievable to help you take those first steps towards transformation. And oh my goodness, if you're listening to this podcast or previous episodes and you're thinking, oh my gosh, so and so have to hear this, please share that with someone or like with whoever come into your mind, because this information can help someone. So please be that friend to support them. Okay. Thank you so much for listening, guys. I really appreciate your ongoing support. And thank you again, Sarah. I'm so
Thank
grateful for you
you.
and your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Until next time, take care and be blessed.